この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Sora no Woto, episode 3 and potentially episode 4, although I think so far each episode has been pretty disconnected from the previous, and so far we've had quite a bit to talk about in each episode, even if it's only in the realm of like, what the heck is going on, and where did these like objects that they have come from, and what gun is that, and what toffees are those, and what kind of things are all these things, and is that really a ghost, and can we go through all the scenes and see if there's really a, oh fuck, there's actually a ghost, what the hell is going on in this show? So a lot comes up in this show just to talk about, and that's kind of interesting to me because this isn't like the most dense feeling show in the world. It doesn't feel like I don't know, even Goop is kind of freaking dense in terms of tanks and things, but this doesn't feel that way, and yet we constantly find ourselves talking about bits and pieces of weird art and bits and pieces of world building more than anything because they're freaking cool. So far, our characters have been pretty straightforward and they've aligned pretty well with the archetypes that we thought they were, but there are hints of a little bit more complexity there, at least a little bit under the surface. For example, Kureha is a pretty standard tsundere type when we first meet her and acts that role out perfectly until we break through that and find out some of her reasons for being, I don't know, a little bit prickly toward a newcomer, and also her mixed up, confused, tumultuous emotions about her own place in this bastion and then this bastion's place in the world, and this fear that they're useless and not worth anything, and this strong sense of like, must deny that possibility at all costs. We are that good, we are strong, we are useful, we matter because I care about this thing, and I love these people and this place, and I care. Doesn't make us useful, but she cares, and it does endear us to Kureha, which is pretty great. Bunch of really nice little bits and bobs throughout the episode, some cool cuts, some cool cuts, and holds that I talked about a little bit. All in all, good stuff. A little bit of confusion around the ghostiness. I just don't know what's going on there. Yeah, it's kind of an unexplained, up in the air sort of thing. I will mention something that I made a mistake on last week. Owls can squish. They can do that. What I did was I went and I looked up the skull of an owl, and I was like, that's too wide. There's no way. Now it's clear that in the anime they make the owl squish a little bit more than he probably would be able to because fuck it, it's anime. But they can do that, and they do that, and so that's new information to me, and I learned something cool. Awesome. So, what's now? Yeah, they went and explored a ruin and found a bunch of shit about past culture that's like hyper important, but also entirely unimportant because it's just interesting but has no relevance as far as we know to the plot. Except insofar as our main girl, fuck, I lost her name now. Kanata. Oh my god, Kanata. Our main girl found some music, and that makes me think that maybe there's some kind of like a connection-y thing that can occur there where she has perfect pitch and can maybe use that to like do something with the music from the past or something. I don't really know. That seems like cool stuff. There were a couple of slightly suspicious conversations between like Felicia and Rio, and I'm not really sure what those were about because we just weren't given the context for them. I think it was intentional that we were meant to see just a little bit of this combo and go, what was that about? And we'll find out maybe a little bit later what was in the background there. And I don't think I'm supposed to know this. I think I accidentally saw the first second of the preview and know this from that. But I think Rio is like running, or it was something Rio and running. And I came to the conclusion that maybe she was going to leave or run away. And maybe that was the conversation that she was having with Felicia, because that conversation was relevant to Kureha. And it seems that Kureha feels really close to Rio and looks at her as like an older sister perhaps, or maybe has a bit of a little crush on her of some kind. It's not really clear, and it doesn't really matter. She just cares about her, and so Felicia positing that perhaps Kureha was getting a little bit antsy because she had found out that Rio was maybe leaving might make sense as like a chain of events sort of thing for me in my head. But we'll have to see. If that is the case, then I would expect this to be the Rio focused episode, which is an interesting choice, I think. Episode 1, Rio's the main girl that we really meet of them, although we don't really meet her that much. And then instead of having her, because she seems to be the mentor and like the main girl in this crew that we're going to be interacting with a lot, the one that we're going to become the most close with, she strikes me as the Reina to Kanata's Kumiko in totally not that way at all, but that's how she strikes me. So she seems like the deuteragonist. And you would expect that in an episode 2, you focus on that deuteragonist, right? You're like, that's the way you introduce us to the characters of the show. But they don't do that. They give us Kureha instead, because it doesn't introduce us to that character, but the Bastion as a whole. And she, as the closest thing to a newcomer, with her own love for this place and particular impression that she wants to give off, despite being a little bit too immature and a little bit too scattered to actually follow through and manage to keep up the facade, is pretty perfect. So now I would expect that we move in to Rio and figure some things out. There's one other thing. There's no direction to the show right now. There's no anything. There's no thrust. And we need a thrust. We need a narrative, right? Well, we don't. We could not have one, but I feel like we're gonna have one, but I don't know what it's gonna be, and it hasn't raised its head yet. We could have just episodic adventures as Kanata tries to learn how to bugle less horribly. That would be totally fine. But if we're going to have a narrative thrust, we should probably get on that pretty soon. And I think episode 3 is a pretty good place to bring story into the world, because we've had a whole lot of world and not a whole lot of story. Got some world, got some places, got some society, got some ruins, got some culture, got some history, got some questions, and got some people, and they're pretty cool, but nothing's happening right now. What's the bell? What's the little jingle bell? Does Rio need to take it somewhere for some reason? Why? What does it do? Who was the woman who was wearing it in the intro video section? I thought it was Felicia at first, but I guess it wasn't Felicia. So who was it? And why does that matter? And does she know the other characters? Is she maybe like a previous inhabitant of the Bastion? Is she maybe Rio's senpai? Right? Like, that could make sense. Then we have like a chain of things. Like, I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see where this show is going, if anywhere. Again, I'm totally okay if it's just episodic fun stuff, but I feel like there's going to be more here. At the very least, there's so much emphasis and effort on putting cool things in this show that I feel like a cool story would have to be an element. Because why not? We got the art, we got the animation, we got all the other things, we got the world, we got culture, we got music. Story, dude. Story. Let's go. Okay, that's my take. That's my thoughts. Those are all that I have going in today for Sora no Woto episode 3, and potentially 4, depending on how we do. We'll just play it by ear. Let's watch the episode. So, I've got episode 3 of Sora no Woto up and ready to go. It is sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there in the corner, linked down there in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you would like to do a syncy thing for yourself and sync up your own copy of this episode with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready, because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you right now. It's such a unique song. Just the instrumentation on it. Is that just a guitar? It is. Do they have a mandolin in there too? Brrr. No, it's just a strummed guitar with the strings held, with the strings muted, and it's panned all the way over to the right. How does the percussion section of that work? Because it's not. It's like, oh, hello clock. Hello owl. Hello Felicia. Bye Felicia. Sorry. Oh shit. I should have saved that for an actual goodbye Felicia moment. Thaw. A little bit. Everything off kilter a little bit. Oh, empty room. And hi, Noel. Winding the clock. Getting things going. Maintaining. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Oh, no. Fuck. Oh, hi. Who are you? That was a character with a design. And she's praying Japanese style, but in a Western church. A day in the life. Rio runs. Okay, so that's what we had. Yum yum nom nom. Why are you? Oh, you made food. I see. Miso soup. Graha's like, man. I mean, it's like it's oh, there we go. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all right. Miso soup. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like the yeah. Damn. That's actually really dope. So everything, all of the things. Maybe parts. Ooh, parts. Who's Carl? Just give her the mouthpiece and nothing else. Okay, so a day in the life. Everything has become a routine now, so we can shake up routines if we want to. And the story begins if that's where we're going with this. Oh shit, there's probably a lot of cool stuff in that montage that I just looked away from like an idiot. Wait, they've got a full set of stainless steel. Wait. How's their kitchen so well outfitted? What? Brought some food. Who's her father? Does it matter? Like I care about something like that. Okay. Yeah, sitting back on the chair. Kind of a punk, but a military. How does she function? Enjoy a snack with your face? Is that what she just said? Because oh, grand bon chance. Very, very good luck. Only the easy problems can be solved by punching. She doesn't do that as terrible luck, of course. Classic gag. Very cliche gag. But it's sensible because they're doing it in a weird situation. They're not going to a near spot. Is she getting sick? Wait, what? Wait. We're pausing. Baka. Yeah. Yep. Rose tinted as fuck. Whereas you are, I guess, you've seen some shit. Music! I want a music! Also, I'm about to pass out before I can actually... She's dead. She's gonna die. Eh. Those who wander in. Which are you? Which are you, Rio? No, ask her the question. You stupid feverish girl. Yes, thank you. Fucking thank you. Honestly, holy shit. I didn't expect that. You already musicked? You already musicked. And were brought in because of it, you think? Hey, title drop, and she's passing out. Catch. Oh. Memory. Whoa. Trigger. Was that her mother? Dying? Yes. Yeah. Pregnant? Looks like it. Maybe. Yeah, so now she's freaking out. This is go mode. Emergency. Please don't. Okay, thank you. Get that girl some Tylenol. Maybe Tylenol does not exist. Got some cold towels? Cold damp towels. Put some towels on her face. What are you doing? Rio runs? Is it not a running away, but a running for something? Where are you gonna get snow? You can't. No shit. Like what? Oh yes, my can of snow. But this is very interesting. This is a lot of stress on her. That's a little too emergency. Yeah. Fuck. Run. I don't like that. I did not like that. What was that? This is a cool episode. Almost reveals of the things that I really want to know about, like who was that trumpeter and the bell thing. And now, massive stress, big shakeup on our characters. Remove most of the characters, force difficulty. The children. Hello. Hello, Miss Priest Lady. Who are you and what do you do? What's your deal? So they have a difficult relationship. So they don't get along because the kids do stuff. So that was what they were talking about? What Felicia was talking about? And so now she goes to her for medicine. Okay. Who is this character, though? Teeaboo. Like, you gotta set her up to get her to drink. Also, who's that voice actress? Yeah, she's really distinctive. Oh, I thought it was gonna be like chickenpox, like she hadn't been exposed to it when she was young because she's from far away. Change of scenery. Yeah. Just like transplanting a plant. Uh, facades. Thank God, yeah. Sees you in a new light. A little bit of, your warmer side. Thanks. Our? She's part of some kind of organization. What is the current religious organization? What do you worship? What is the point? What is your purpose? What do you care about? Who are you? What? Oh, dreams. Teal blue. Amazing Grace. Who saved a wretch like me? So relevant. So she is the Amazing Grace herself. If her name is Grace, that's really stupid. Just throwing it out there. Ah. Now that is a lot more effective. Uh-huh. Ooh. Is she crying? No, just dripping rain. That's too coincidental, right? Like there aren't that many pieces of music, are there? They've got to know each other. She has to know that blonde girl. She has to. And then the bell, we have to understand. There's a connection. Oh, will she see it at this point or something? She's got it on her, right? Fermented? Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, but that's what ferments and turns into awesome. Three-day fever. What? I think she's fucking with you. I think she's fucking with you, buddy. You're cruel, Rio. You're cruel. Senpai. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Mm. Oh, perfect pitch. How do you know it so perfectly? And you know that rendition of it, right? Who else sings it that way? But I haven't only heard it once. Uh-huh. And she assumes that you would have heard it once, so it's not common knowledge. Is there a computer? Is there a computer? Is there a computer? Does it have a computer? Does it have an activatable screeny system? Oh my god, it does. Oh my fuck. The turret is online. So you can play music? You got speakers in that thing? Bass boost? She'll be able to tell if it's the same person recorded, right? Maybe. Are they related? Huh. Ah. Symphony. Uh-huh. Ah, ah, ah. That's a pretty good line. Oh, good. And then cut to credits. Cut to credits. No, just end it. End it right there. Yeah. Ah, everybody has to come back home. Yeah. Okay. Darn, that would have been a good finish. Ah, too bad. You feeling a little jelly? Uh-huh. Sure. So she's dead. Ah. Okay, I'm really into this episode. Suddenly, elements of maybe story. Ooh, baby. This makes me very happy. Oh, climbing up to... Okay. This is a really bouncy ED. It's so nice. I don't want to find out. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Nope. No previews. Fuck previews. Okay, I really like this episode. This one's really interesting. Also, there wasn't anything in this one that like irked me too much. Like weird storytelling bits that didn't make sense or anything, or things with ghosts that were like, is that really a ghost or an owl? And just convey better, show, convey better. No, this episode conveyed everything. Everything that I wanted it to do, it conveyed well. There are still some moments that are a little confusing, a little bit not understandable because we don't have context for them, like the whole thing with the kids. But we can grasp an understanding of like how it's been going. Rio's been hard on this church lady who takes care of the kids because she's an altruist, and Rio's been pissed about it because they're kids. They run around and cause problems, but she learns to be an authority figure and a guide herself by realizing in a moment of emergency that she has to, and discovering that she like was same situation before. Okay, there's some things I need to check though. The woman in her flashback who is falling over were monochrome during that flashback, right? So we can't tell what hair color she has. Is that possibly the blonde, or is that clearly and definitely her mother? I'm uncertain. It seemed to be. Oh, it can't be the blonde. She was older after, I think. Fuck, they're information. I need it. Okay, it's clear that whoever this character is very close to Rio in some way. Because I mean, if nothing else, we get this cut. She says the person who I admired most and was closest to, and then we cut to her necklace. It's just like boom, bam, that's ding dong. So they're really close in some way. I want to look at the character design again. It's really unclear. No, that's an older woman. pillows, some kind of box thing, some other stuff. Okay, we do see it colored at this point. I forgot about this scene because I was so focused on the creepy priesty guy. Blonde with dark skin and purple eyes. That's so weird. And then his hairstyle almost evokes a turban. Kind of, because of the tie at the top. And then the woman on the bed seemed to be overjoyed that this person had arrived, right? So it gives me the vibe of like a bullshit spiritual healer or something, right? Like the mother has faith. And then that ties into the superstition thing, how she seemed to be not okay with the fortune stuff, right? It could, at least, right? If she watched her mother like die under the care of some kind of faith healer or something, that could make somebody not okay with religion pretty solidly. And then the interactions between her and the woman from the church are so strained, possibly because of that, right? Maybe Rio's kind of had it out for them because she hates them. Even though that woman is taking care of orphans, it seems. Whoa. Okay. There's a lot of story here. And we just get glimpses of it. That's so fascinating. And that isn't even touching on what we get in the second half, which is, of course, that this blonde lady, who is the start of Kanata's story, is also deeply related to Rio's story. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think she's related to Rio. Because she has the same character design in a different color. Also, there's, where is it? Oh no, that's that cut. Once we get crazy with it, though, we get jiggy with it. Here. Once we're mix and matching. She turns and then Rio turns. We show the same cut of Rio turning from before. Somewhere. Yeah, okay, so right here, we're listening to the actual track of Amazing Grace, and she turns one eye toward us, and then we cut to the previous moment where Rio turned to check on us. Who's episode directing? I'd like to understand how much is conveyed intent and how much is just we shot it because we shot it this way. Maybe finding the episode director will help me figure out which is which, and whether I should have a lot of faith in what's being conveyed or what I think is being conveyed, and whether it feels like a kind of director, writer, storyboarder thing that would be good at this kind of subtext, and if so, then we'll read into it as subtext. Let's see. Okay, it's Toshinori Fukushima in both the storyboard and episode direction positions. Storyboarded and episode directed a number of episodes of Food Wars, which is okay. Directed episode 8 of Penguin Drum. Which one's that? Which episode is that? That's important. I'll just find the Reddit rewatch thread or something. Or no, I can find the list of episodes on Wiki. Oh man, it's the it's the attempt apartment get hit by a car. It's that episode. Okay, Toshinori. Yeah, I'll buy your subtext. I will buy that you are acceptable at conveying that kind of shit. Cool. I'm glad. So that being the case, I'm going to read into this. I'm going to say that they're sisters. That's my guess. That's my guess, is that they're sisters. Pretty different in age though, like 10 or 12 years. Maybe adopted sisters. No, but part of it is that they have the same character design, so it's like their blood. Okay, I'm gonna I need to take a break anyway. I need to go use the bathroom and stuff. I'm gonna sip some tea and think about this episode a little bit, and I'll be back at you to actually go through it and draw conclusions. There are too many little bits and bobs that I want to look at again. I might just rewatch it all at like 3 times speed because I can do that and it's fine. So I'll see you in a minute. Ah, well, 3-day fever is a thing that exists. It's also known as baby measles, and it's also known as roseola. Generally mild infection caused by 2 strains of herpes virus. It's common. It usually affects all children by age 2. It occasionally affects adults, but one can only contract it once in their lifetime. So it's a real deal. It's a real thing. Not a thing that would occur due to stress, really, but due to contamination and being exposed to a virus that you've never been exposed to in infancy. So that makes sense. Okay. Is that corn? I assume that's corn. Okay, so they grow their own food. Wait. They're kind of weird corn stalks. Corn stalks, just from looking at pictures of them, they do have those segments on the stalks themselves. Like these segmented things. It's just that they don't quite look like this. They're like little round bumps, but they're not dark. These look like bamboo, oddly. It's weird. So initially I was wondering, is there some intent here to show that there's some kind of weird crossbreed of bamboo and corn stalks? Which makes a ton of sense if you think about it as like, okay, previous civilization in this world, just given the technological capacities of that tank, which had some crazy stuff going on, it kind of makes sense that maybe they would genetically engineer one of the fastest growing grasses with one of the more like useful food supply things possible. Also, is corn technically a grass? Yeah, it is technically a grass. They are not that far from each other. Like they are within the same family. Bamboo and corn are within the same family, not the same subfamily or genus and onward. But that's pretty close. That's not that far away. I think that's possible, but it doesn't seem likely. It's just the way that the corn is drawn. Okay, we see their guns again in more detail. I am going to stick with my previous assumption that they are the carabiners, because that's what they look like. Darker wood than the ones that I found, but still, that's what they look like. And then we see a bill here, which is really interesting. A bird flying through a centerpiece? That's so strange. What's that? What's that thing? Oh. It's a type of eye chart. It's a type of eye chart that doesn't... Yeah, so that's for color blindness. I assume that those are the like multi-speckled ones that have like a number or some kind of symbol in them, but like if you're colorblind, it doesn't look like anything. And then the little circle things are to determine whether you can see which direction it's facing. So it's an eye chart that's like language requiring. So instead of being like A, Z, V, D, E, Q, you are going right, left, down, up, right, and then they get too small for me to see because it's too grainy. I would be able to see them a lot lower down. I have ridiculously good eyes. Whatever. That's cool. That's interesting. Okay. How is this scene with the priest? I'm just going to call him a priest because it makes sense with this is the moment where she finally decides as a last resort to go to the house of worship of whatever kind, as a last resort, only after like we see this moment, which tells us that this is very much last resort for her. She would not go there willingly. How does this scene function so well? How is it so creepy? Because, like, immediately I got the impression that I did not like that person, and I did not like whatever he was doing to her mother. So how is that conveyed to me as an audience member through sound and visual? Because there's no dialogue in that sequence, right? Tragedy. The music just screams tragedy. Wow, that's a good piece. Okay. I'm still going through for bits and bobs. We'll do a more like overall thing soon. No, it's a lot earlier in the episode where we first see her that she's clapping, that she's praying. It's when she blows the bugle. Okay. The religious element is super interesting, I think. Also, I cannot wait for this particular old lady to like hear Kanata play and just be like, "That was pretty okay. You did it." That's gonna be so cathartic. That's gonna be so great. But it's this. This is the first thing that struck me about this character. The moment we see her, she is on a tile floor with a red walkway and pews. Western church. But what she's wearing is like, it's got red sashes and stuff, like a Miko's outfit. But then it's also like the white and black pattern of a Western nun. And she's clearly in a Western style church, but the way that she's praying is the Japanese style. So mix and match, baby. Blendify that shit up. And when we see her again, the openings that show us the outside of the church demonstrate something similar. There are these passageways with the shrine barriers and the little paper hanging things and symbolism and stuff, but the physical church itself has a stained glass circular window. Well, not stained, but a glass circular window is of Western construction with a pointed roof and a steeple and a little tower with, I assume, a bell in it and a big cross at the top. So what the fuck is religion here? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Not really. What does matter is that Rio doesn't like it. Rio doesn't like it at all. And it makes sense why. Oh! Do they buy fortune cookies from the church? Is that it? That would make sense, because that's where you would buy fortunes at, like, New Year's. You'd buy them from a shrine. From a shrine or something. Yeah. Okay. So maybe the church makes fortune cookies and sells them as their, like, way of getting offerings or whatever. And so Felicia keeping a bowl of them around is for her own enjoyment. But that would be why Rio doesn't like them, right? And then the reason that Felicia would mention it's not the fault of the children would be that Rio has been hard on the children, probably because they're related to the church. And it's not their fault. Don't blame the kids for the religion portion that you don't like. Oh, clickety clackety clock. That actually kind of makes some sense there. That's neat. Okay. Yeah, have the children cause you trouble again. This is an ongoing thing. She's been here many times, probably having little to do with the children actually causing trouble and a lot more to do with her wanting to cause trouble for the church. So now she has to eat that in order to save someone she cares about. Ha. Huh. And the cool thing here is that all of her assumptions and fears are wrong. Yumina is immediately and completely helpful with no desire for recompense. Very, very like genuine Christian behavior type of thing, right? Exactly what you would expect from a Buddhist who cares about helping people, a Shinto priest who cares about helping people, or a Christian priest who cares about helping people. Any of the above. Not a bad example of religion, which is clearly and deeply at odds with what Rio thinks about religion. She's so, like, taken aback by this situation. She's super relieved that Kanata's going to be okay, but it's also just taken aback by the situation. And suddenly they're Well, maybe not friends, but, like, they know each other's names now, so that's nice. That's good. Okay, and that is the sachet of medicinal herbs. So why does she hide that away when the others come in? Is it because she doesn't want to appear like she actually cares? Okay. Okay. Well, I'll take that. And then into this moment where she is dream reminiscing. Also, can I just say that this whole sequence is the same-ish as the, like, opening of episode 1, except that the spot coloring is done with a lot of intent this time. Like, a lot more intent. Okay, so, jingle jangle spot color on the bell. Spot color on her because she is the life in this scene and is going to bring light and warmth and color into it via her music. Binga bonga boinga. And then spot coloring on Kanata because she's a human being and is existing and is experiencing this thing, right? And then we pan up to sky, switch our scene over to the inside of the building, which is familiar looking, and it clears away and light and sky comes in. So it is the sound of the sky and the sound that breaks through the sky. It's also Amazing Grace, a song that has to do with redemption and like a chance. Wonder if that's like some kind of a meta thing, like music will fix whatever's wrong with the world and make the sky come out? No, that's stupid. Also, this landscape is really dope. That one, boom, gorgeous. Glimmer glamour, super happy, and of course that's why she wants to muzak. Wants to muzak real good. And then we get the implication. Ryo knows that woman. Ryo is probably related to that woman? Who was the other woman in the room with them? That outfit that she's wearing, is that the outfit for the ceremony? Shit, we'll have to go back to the other episode to find that. That's a different woman. That's a different woman. Are they half-sisters? Is that the outfit from episode 1? I need to go and look. Ooh, it changes though. That's a lot closer to the other one. No, it's quite different. Interesting. Okay, let's go with an overall take and skim for bits and pieces. I think I've gone and found the bits and bobs that I want. Basic timeline of events is good morning. Kanata is hardworking but somewhat desperate for approval and acceptance. Montage through the day. Chat with Felicia. Everyone else leaves to get supplies. Chat with Ryo leads to delirium, leads to panic, leads to seeking snow, which is kind of ridiculous, leads to talking to Yumina, leads to saved, leads to Amazing Grace being hummed, leads to dream, leads to waking up, leads to communicating that fact to one another, leads to turning on the tank and finding the song itself, leads to discussion of what that is and flashback moments of what that was, leads to Ryo had promised at some point to never again listen to that song, I assume because she lost the person that she cared about so much. So, I don't know. Also leads to some conclusions about harmony and the need of everyone to work together in harmony, like a tank crew. And the sentiment about remembering your own helplessness so that you can help someone when they need help. Cool. Let's go from there. Start. Clock. Gotta set it up. I think this is a cool moment just because it's like the mechanical tick, 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 gotta wind the clock sort of maintenance thing. And that's most of their morning here. Make food, ring the bell, blow the horn, wind the clock, clean the thing, clean the dishes, do this, do that, do this, do that. It's just schedule, right? It's military life. Welcome to it. 5 a.m. Let's go. Dawn, crack of dawn. Bam. And then the day begins. Heralded by them. So we get a meal from Kanata. Everything that's on the table is traditional Japanese breakfast. You would see this in any anime. Miso soup, some stuff with some other stuff. I'm actually not sure what the greens are with the little thing on top. I just don't know. Rice, fish. Simple, easy. Fish on the bone. Pick it apart with chopsticks. Delightful. It's a perfectly traditional meal, and none of them have had miso soup as far as as far as it seems. She's from elsewhere, and her culture is more Japanese-y, it seems. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I need to look into the miso metaphor. I need to re-up myself on my miso production process and figure something out. Because I'm pretty sure that there's really, like, no such thing as miso dregs. You just keep making more. A miso production. Or does she mean the dregs of the soup? The little bits that fall to the bottom. Okay, yeah. Yep. Okay. Cool. It's leftovers in the miso soup. Not the miso. That makes so much more sense because miso, you use all that shit. You use it all. You use it all. You make a paste. You just spread it on shit. Fuck yeah. Okay. In any case, we montage our way through the morning. Everything is great. Doing normal stuff. Just, again, the mechanics of normal life. So these are truly exquisite. We have a couple of... Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Here, enjoy a snack with your tea. I did read that as enjoy a snack with your face for some reason at first. I'm stupid. Fortune cookies, immediately taken aback. You still dislike them, don't you? It isn't as though it's the children's fault, you know. And then... To use superstitions to extort money, that sort of thing is the same no matter where you go. Okay, yeah, that lines up a lot more clearly now. Having seen through the episode and going back and taking a peek again, that makes a whole fuckload of sense. She has bad experiences with extortion and religion and views the church things in the same way. I wonder if the little kids are put to work by the churchy place to make the fortune cookies. Now, maybe that makes a lot of sense, right? Give the orphans something to do and help them, like, provide for themselves. That's pretty cool. That could be really cool, actually. So, her initial assumption here that it's just extortion is really interesting, and Felicia's kind of just like, I'll let you think what you think. I'm not going to argue with you. She's not a character who will do that, but she does plan things, right? That's something I haven't thought of yet or brought up yet. First thing that Felicia does, really, like, her first major action as a character is to dupe Rio via the lot drawing in order to get the person best suited for the ritual into the ritual. And at that point, we have no context. We don't know that Rio doesn't like religion or superstition. So it's even more interesting that she's the one who is chosen, but not chosen, and she doesn't choose to. She is selected and voluntold by Felicia. Subtly. Very subtly. That's interesting. That's interesting, isn't it? Speculative possibility. What if Felicia expected that Kanata would get sick, and leaving Rio and Kanata together was an intentional, like, hey, nudge you in the direction of figuring out some stuff and what you want your role to her to be. I don't know. Himitsu. Is it because what she said about Kanata was so insightful? Or is it because it's a mirror of herself when she first came here? I think the latter. No response. Terrible fortune. Okay, we talked about this cut. I think this cut's weird. This is weird. I don't understand why it's the way that it is. Why is that the way that it is? Okay, it's okay to not be able to do things at first. It's okay to need to practice and need to get better at things. That's how everyone does it. Cool. Relevant. It's okay to not be good at being a mentor or a senpai at first. It's okay to have to practice and get better at it. That works. Okay, happy-go-lucky outlook. We find out, why did you join the military in the first place? I wanted to learn an instrument for free. And then she says that her reason was basically the opposite. Those who have a clear goal will get further. What about you, huh? About the exact opposite of you. So she already musicked and wanted to go somewhere to do that, right? That's the implication here, I think. That's cool. You don't really hear brass outside. I've heard one in the past. Yes, yes, yes. And then triggered. Triggered hard. Okay. This is I think my favorite thing about the episode is panic. The absolute unadulterated panic that Ryo has. The cool thing here is there is nobody to see her. There's no audience, right? No Felicia to judge, no Koreha to try to be strong in front of, nobody. Just this girl that is now your charge and your responsibility, and she's kind of dying, and you've seen something like this before and it hasn't gone well. Triggered, freaking out, pure panic, zero rationality. Now, rational enough to an extent to get some of her hot clothes off and get her in bed and, figure it out. Also, just little note, I've seen this kind of scene before that has leaned really hard into making it fan servicey, and I find it really creepy when a character in a vulnerable state is used as oh, that's hot. Thank God that they didn't do that in any sense at all. I didn't get any weird vibes from it, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, show. Just really appreciate that sometimes. There's a place for that kind of thing when it would be fun, and this is not it, so I'm really glad. Okay. This is where the panic turns into insanity, almost, right? I want to eat snow. Well, she says Yuki, right?
Yuki.
Yeah, she says Yuki, so she's saying she wants to eat snow. She's not saying she wants to eat ice. She wants to eat snow, which is a crazy, delirious fever dream thing to say, and not what she actually needs. She needs a wet towel on her head and, to cool off. But in this moment, that's not what Ryo's thinking about. She's just thinking, anything I can do to help this girl right now. Snow? I'm looking in the cupboards. Does that make sense? Fuck no. Of course not. But what else is she gonna do? She's freaking out, looking everywhere, tearing the place up, until she tells herself to calm. Medicine, right? Duh. But it's gone. There isn't any. No supplies. She also turns... I want to talk about this just real quick. She turns back and looks at the book and the phone. It's never rung, right? Do they have other means of communication with elsewhere, right? We're not locked here in a town that has no communication to the outside world that still thinks that they're in one state when the world is completely different, right? No, because Klaus arrived with Kanata, and we saw those people on the train, so they're in contact, but they're not going to use the emergency phone. I don't know what that says, just by the way. So she finally turns to religion, and it is a difficult thing to do, but she does it. Priorities. She'd rather go to somebody that she hates and beg for forgiveness than allow someone to die under her watch again. Damn, that's some stuff. Okay, we meet girl. She's pretty fucking cool, all things considered. Seems like Ryo has not been nice to her in the past, and she is just purely, good at this moment, which is wonderful. She comes in, administers medicine, doesn't ask for anything in return, gives some extra medicine to give her, tells her what she thinks it probably is, has experience with this kind of disease, reassures her that she'll probably be okay. All is okay here. Holy crap. Thank you, Yumina. You're fucking cool. It's really appreciated. It is our pleasure and our duty to assist the people of this city. So our being the organization, but we don't know what the organization is. And that's, of course, this is like, I don't really want to believe that that's true, but like, I mean, you did really just help me right now, and you've been really cool about this, so I still don't like you, but okay. That's kind of cool. I hope that we continue exploring this, Ryo's relationship with Faith. I think it's also kind of interesting / important that Amazing Grace is a faith-based song. It is a song about a person who views themselves as a wretch and a sinner being saved by the grace of God and forgiveness and salvation. That's what Amazing Grace is about. So that is the core song of the narrative, and like the thing that inspires both Ryo and Kanata, but specifically Kanata, but is important to Ryo and is related to that character who I think is probably her sister in some way. And then Ryo's a character who's like hates faith and religion, it seems, but is finding importance in it, as well as being saved by music. There's some layers there. There's some mix and match layers there. It's kind of cool. Okay, but she goes back to the militaristic way of doing things. Little soft smile, hard salute. Thank you for your cooperation. Like, for cooperating with our operation, not thanks for helping, you know? Okay, this sequence is really good. All the spot coloring makes sense, and it actually tells a story that the music is opening up the clouded skies and revealing light and color to Kanata for the first time in a while. So that's pretty cool. And then, relevantly, it is Ryo who is singing it and bringing light into her life now, kind of, which is cool. All right, apples and stuff, miso soup and stuff, dead weight and stuff. Let's talk about the song. I've heard it before, by the way. What were you singing? Yeah, and she's totally fucking with her, which is so great. This is so good. Oh, that's right. What was that song? What are you talking about? The one that went like this, and she starts humming it, but you've only heard it once. How could you do that? Well, she could, perfect pitch. But Ryo's hum of the song was a little bit different. Okay. Yeah, she's jumping around in it like it's not that familiar to her. Okay, so there, that note is more extended. Should be to there. The sound, how sweet. That's saved. Wretch. She's off key. She's jumping around in it. Kanata cannot have heard it from her, right? Because the version that she hums is perfect. It's more than that, though. It's the right version. So it's revealed. Hey, I met a hot blonde girl who had a weird necklace thing that looked a lot like that necklace that you have, just saying, and played the trumpet. Do you know that person? That would be weird, right? So that's her goal. That's why she's here. But dregs are just dregs, no matter how much they travel. This one's a pretty oofy line. I don't know, man. It doesn't do to rely on the church for everything. There are other things that are important. Okay, let's talk about this tank. Many things sleep inside her. So she starts turning it on, and I'm wondering, is there a computer system? And there is. Good morning, brother. Good morning, comrade. Burn. Okay, so the way that thing lights up, it looks like it's kind of like an energy cannon, maybe? That's neat. Okay, what else appears on the thing? The the layout and like stuff. Normal mode, stealth mode. Does it have actual like camouflage systems? Sound mode, a dedicated system for music playback that has recordings in it. Why would a military tank have that? Unless music has always been hypercritical to this universe in more ways than we think. Whoa, okay. Again, and it seems like these sequences continuously keep happening in this location around the tank. Again, we get these series of cuts and editing that's really good at conveying stuff. This to here, to there, and then again. No, we hold. Click, click. Yeah. Also, the subtle camera movements that follow characters' eye lines constantly. I mean, it happens multiple times throughout the episode. I'm not going to go back through and point them all out. But something to keep in mind is, like, there are all of these moments where the camera moves when it doesn't have to, just to follow characters and give them a little bit more oomph. It's really cool. All the parts in one symphony, just like a tank crew, showing the past of that tank crew. Very interesting. So their juniors can cause them trouble. Ah. Remember your frustration and how powerless you felt. That you can help someone else. Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking cool. I think that's really cool. You can cause me as much trouble as you like. It's what I'm here for. Not to be nice about it, but it is what I'm here for. Okay, this is the standout for me. Wide. Got it? Cut. 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 Each time the camera is moving a similar distance in a similar angle and direction to bring us to this frontal face shot. Wide. Over the shoulder angle. Over the shoulder closer. Full close up. That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. I like that. I like that a lot. Click, click, click. Click, click, click. Out to the wide again. Lots and lots of trouble. Oh god. Oh no, what have I done? What have I unleashed? Please no. Great. But you asked for it, so got a deal. Alright, everybody else comes home. That's fine. She's a little bit embarrassed-y about that, I think? Or about the cut. It's unclear. I assume it's the medicine. Oh, no! No. It is the medicine. She's trying to hide that she went to the church. Because that would fuck up her argument with Felicia. Yeah, she's trying to keep that under wraps. Okay. You listened to it, didn't you? Yeah. And there's something freeing about the way she says yeah, and also another camera movement. This one backward instead of up. Oh no, it does both. It goes whoop. Yeah, whoop. Cool. Even though you said you never would again. And that is a Himitsu secret. Wowzers. I like this episode a lot. Yeah. Are we going to stay on this train of one character-focused episode per before moving into other things? I guess. Maybe. Maybe. If so, then Noelle or Felicia? Noelle. Because we just had the tanky stuff, right? So we could go ask her about more tanky stuff. Or Kanata could be really obsessed with the song and like, hey Noelle, can I listen to my music? Can you stop working on the tank so I can listen to my music? Can I blast my tunes? I'm kicking you off the Bluetooth. Classic stuff. Okay, we're gonna wrap here. I've been Teeaboo. this has been Sora no Woto episode 3. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I very much hope to catch you next week for episode 4. We got like 2 hours of recording, so it looks like we're going 1 episode per week for now until we don't. Yeah, see you next week for more. Peace. Where does Kureha's head go? Why does she fall backward like this? Wait, what? And then she just disappears, right? What? Then she falls completely backward. But, wait, I guess it's supposed to be that as soon as they start moving, she slips. But there's no sound effect to indicate that? Like either a thunk or anything, or her going whoop, or anything? And then when she actually falls backward, it's while her face is like kind of out of frame, so we can't really see it. And it doesn't quite line up with the point at which they start accelerating, right? They're moving forward, but here is where they accelerate. And she's already fallen over. She's falling over here when they're just like... It's when she floors it and they start moving that she would fall right there. What? What a wonky cut. Why would you have character animation occur when your character isn't in frame? Rio is blocking her. Why is she? What? I'm not gonna call it a mistake. It's just too weird. I don't understand it. What? Okay, regardless, I want to go look at those fortune cookies again. The fortunes are printed, right? Yeah. They're printed ink. So somebody's mass producing fortune cookies. Because the cookies themselves look a little bit less than like perfect Chinese takeout fortune cookies, you know, with the perfection on them. They've got intentional little bits of like other grain and stuff that don't quite look right, and they don't have the impression of like, oh, I guess they do have a bit of the glossiness indicated by like this faint gradient in their centers. I guess that makes sense. But the fortunes are printed, so they're mass produced, and Felicia keeps them around on her desk at all times, but Rio doesn't like them. There's something about that from Rio spoke to me of like past superstition having an influence on her or something. Like, this is a weird place to take it, but Rio's kind of reading to me as a bit of a Beauregard, a Beauregard Lionette from Critical Role Campaign 2, who has a father who was very superstitious and like ruined his family because of how superstitious he was and some like tarot readings that he got, and so she doesn't like superstitiousness very much. That's the kind of vibe that I get from Rio's reaction to this thing, but I don't really know. And then there's some stuff about like her father and some other stuff, and it isn't like it's the children. How does that relate to the fortune cookies? It isn't like it's the children's fault that... I don't know. Okay, this is an interesting episode so far. I don't know where we're going with this, but I'm intrigued. Let's continue. I wonder if we will at any point jump to these characters' perspective and see the outside of town things that they might interact with. Also, I'm wondering if Kanata is becoming sick because of she's super hardworking and is pushing herself too much. And then she's got this like blush and she seemed to be like kind of fading out a little bit. So maybe she's a little feverish, and we'll see what happens when she and Rio end up alone because everyone else is leaving, and then we'll maybe see if Rio is like capable of taking care of another person if they're in trouble. I don't know. Super weird. I'm pausing just because that's a good scene transition that I can use. I want to know who voices Yumina. That's all. Simple. Just want to know the voice, because her voice is really distinctive. She's got her voice is quite bright. It's quite crispy. It's quite like mine, actually, in terms of the way that I form most of my consonants. They're just the way that my teeth are function, like quite crispy. But she's very clear with that. And then she's got this like airiness to her normal, like her vowel sounds that's really distinctive as well.
これ
Kore. Like there's a to each one, and it's like natural for her, which is crazy.
これ
Yeah, that's just how she is, which is crazy because I would have to expel so much air to kore, like to actually make that kind of hissiness occur in the, I don't even know how. Okay, I'm gonna look her up because I'm pretty sure I've heard that voice somewhere. It's so distinctive. She plays Yin from Darker Than Black. Saki in Durarara. Tanaka in Fate Kaliad. Okay. Oh, she's little baby Alicia Hughes in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Aww.
と申しますユミナと申します
Wow. She's doing much more innocence in there. She is Anzu from Girls und Panzer. I would not have called that one. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty different character to play. That's pretty cool. Natsume from Hidamari Sketch. Oh! Oh! She is Hoshizora Miyuki. So I know this character because she's the main character. I know this voice actress because she's the main character in a show that I've seen 50 fucking episodes of. She's the main cure of Smile Precure and is really good as her and is one of the better ones. That's okay. All right, cool. That makes a lot of sense. Also, just a side note, Laura Bailey voices the English voice for that Precure, which is hilarious, and I want to go and look that up because it will make me cringe and die on the inside because Laura Bailey's probably better than her performance on that thing, and I assume that it's terrible. Oh boy. Somebody in Strike Witches, somebody into Loveru. Okay, she's a bunch of people. I talked about the ones that seem to matter to me. That's very cool to know. This whole sequence is neat. It's interesting. We're going to talk about it after, but I'm going to continue for now.